to your first day of digital learning. Good morning. Give me your best dance moves. Wiggle it out. Get excited. Welcome to day 1 of your measurement unit this week. So you're probably wondering, what are we going to learn? We are going to work on measurement. If you look here, the content objective for today is I can find the rule and use a conversion chart to convert different units of measurement. What we're going to use is our understanding of basic computation skills like we've been working on, multiplication and division, and we're going to be able to convert from a larger unit to a smaller unit, but we're making equivalent measurements. Now, what can I do to prove that I've learned something, or can I prove what I learned? I can write or type measurement conversions from larger units to smaller units in a chart. So by the end of this lesson, so today when you do your task and tomorrow, you're going to be showing us that you have learned this skill, and we're excited to see your work. Now, what are units of measurement? To measure means to show the amount of something. A unit of measurement and how the amount is represented. For example, the wall in the room you are sitting in could be measured to see how long it is in inches, but it could also be measured in feet or in yards. 2 weeks ago, in week 3, you were asked to use a non-standard unit of measure to find the area and perimeter of something around your house. This is what we use when we need standard measurements. When a construction worker or an engineer or anyone is measuring something, they need exact measurements. So that's what we're working on today. We're working on using things like inches, feet, and yards so that you can convert from a larger unit to a smaller unit. So we're going to watch this video to get us started and to get our brains working.
We can always put 12 inches inside a foot, and 1 yard just won't be complete if it does not contain 3 feet. 1 inch is what you got if you're looking at the top of a bottle of pop. On your thumb is about 1 inch from your knuckle to your fingertip. We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it.
The length of the folder where your work is put measures out to just 1 foot.
You'll find a foot if you look at the height of the parrot on my hook.
Yar. A football field has 100 marks. Each one is a yard apart.
At the plate with a softball bat, a yard is about what you're looking at.
Open your fingers a pinch and make an inch. Then make your hands look just like a foot. Put them 3 times as far and make a yard. Now we know how long they are. We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it.
How fun was that song? So that kind of got you warmed up with what type of measurement we're going to be using. Now, if you noticed in the video, they were using concrete experiences. They were talking about things that they saw in their daily life. And that's going to help you as you move forward with a conversion chart. You need to think, what can I think in my life that could be a foot, that could be an inch? And using that is going to help you lay the foundation for further measurement investigations as we continue on this journey. So let's have some practice. Looking at this, what does it mean to convert unit of measurement? To convert measurement means to change the value from one unit to another equivalent unit. In the past, we have worked on fractions. We worked on equivalent fractions. So for example, 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4, right? Well, we're using the same type of vocabulary word, equivalent, to compare a larger unit to a smaller unit or smaller to larger. So for example, how many feet are in 24 inches? Okay, so this right here shows that 12 inches is equivalent to a foot. Do y'all see that right there? Well, if I know 12 inches equals 1 foot, then 12 inches again, that's 24 inches. So how many feet would that be equivalent to? Well, that would be equivalent to 2 feet. And we always encourage you to use models, guys. Models are, as I say in my classroom, your best friend, because it gives you an example that you can actually visualize. And that's what fourth graders need at this point. Now, you can also use division, as you see here. Well, since I know that there are 12 inches, then if I have 24, I just divide by those 12 inches, and that gives me 2 feet. Yes, we will work on this part right here where you're using division to answer or multiplication. However, a model is a great start. So you really can visualize, okay, I know how much an inch might be, and you're comparing it that way. So how can we convert measurement to new units? These are all of our conversion charts. You will be given that 1 foot is equivalent to 12 inches, and then you are going to use that to start off your conversion chart. And you could use length, weight, time. Now, do you see it says length again? That's because in fourth grade, you are asked to work with customary units and metric units. You have that opportunity to use both. Now, there's usually a rule you can use. For example, back here, we used the rule that we knew 12 inches was equivalent to a foot, right? So this video is going to show you how to use that realistically.
In real life, there are millions of things to measure and lots of ways that you can measure them. But often you might be asked measurement in a different unit than you actually measured it. For example, you may measure your desk with inches, but you may be asked how many feet your desk is. All units of measurement can be changed if you know the conversion rate. For example, you can think about a gallon of milk, or you can think about it as 4 quarts. It's still the same exact amount. So you can think about a pint of juice, or you could think about 2 cups of juice. They're the exact same amount. Or maybe you might measure something with inches, but then have to show that amount in yards. If the measure can be changed, well then how do you know how to change it? Well, you just have to know the conversion rates. The conversion rates are the rules of changing measure. Often your teachers will let you use a conversion rate table to help you. The table shows you each unit and how many of the smaller units it takes to equal the bigger one. So this table here shows you the rules of converting measures. For example, if we look at pounds and ounces, the rule is times 16, because 1 times 16 equals 16. But you can also think about it as division, because 16 divided by 16 equals 1. So between meters and centimeters, the rule is times 100, because 1 times 100 equals 100. But if you read the table backwards, it would actually be divided by 100, because 100 divided by 100 equals 1. So these are the rules of conversion rates. When number patterns follow a rule, you can show the relationships on an input-output table. So let's look at how you can solve some conversion problems by using an input-output table. In this first problem, it says Jenny vacuumed 36 yards of carpet. How many feet did she vacuum? So the first thing you can do is create an equation to help solve the problem. So I'm going to take the 36 yards and set it so that it's equal to a certain number of feet. And And once I set up the equation, I can see that I'm converting yards to feet. So my input is going to be yards. My output is going to be feet. So to get your first pair to put in your input-output table so that you can figure out the rule, just look at your conversion table. Here we see that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So on our input-output table, we're going to put that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. Once I have my pair in my input-output table, I can figure out the rule for this table. So the rule is times 3, because the input times 3 equals the output. So my rule is times 3. Now, any input that I put in my table, all I'll have to do is multiply it by 3 to get the output. So I'm just going to try it with the number 2. So here, if I multiply 2 by 3, I'll get 6, which would be the output. So our story problem tells us the input. It tells us that we have 36 yards. So I'm going to create my input as 36. And then I know to find the output, all I have to do is apply the rule to 36. So 36 times 3 is equal.
So before I click play, I want to challenge y'all. Can you solve this? You can press pause on me as well. You can use the rule here. Remember how I talked about basic computation? You're going to be using everything we've learned so far in 4th grade for this standard. That's why it's towards the end of our year. So, have you figured it out? I hope you're screaming at the screen right now.
Equal to 108. So if I have 36 yards, it's
Did you get it right?
going to equal 108 feet. Duplicate the answer and just drag it up here to make my equation true. There.
Amazing. I'm so glad y'all challenged yourself with that. Now it's time to practice, okay? So you're going to see this on your Google Classroom as well. Now, this is one that is an example of what you're going to see. The objective is I will record measurement conversions from bigger units to smaller units. Just like she had here, you have the measurements right in front of you. So what you're going to have to do is think, what's the rule? How can I find my answer? Okay, so feet are larger than inches. So if I have 1 foot, I'm going to have more inches than feet to make it equivalent. Okay, so I'm going to show you, you're going to go into your Google Classroom. So if I were to go in, if I were to go into my Google Classroom, I will use my example. I'm going to go into classwork. You're going to see more than this, but you will see math, April 13th through 16th. And I am going to go to, if you're watching this video, you're at day 2. So I'm going to click on day 2, and it's going to have all the information I need. And it's going to have work where you're going to convert your chart. Now, what you're going to need to do is make a copy of it so that you can type into this, okay? So I would click on it and I would type into it for an answer. And then you're going to submit it into each teacher. So if you're in Miss White's class, you're going to be submitting it to Miss White. So if I were to go in, and I'll show y'all what yours looks like. Looks just like this. So you're going to have 3 slides that we expect you to complete, and you're going to type in the answer here. You're going to find the rule using your conversion chart, your information right there. And so 1 foot, well, I know from what I can look up here, well, 1 foot equals 12 inches. Some kids will say, Miss Holly, that's too easy. Well, your challenge is to complete it. You might notice a pattern, but it's not always going to be this simple. But we need practice. This is new. So we're so excited to see your work, and we're so excited for you to submit it to us when you're ready. Have a fabulous day, and we cannot wait to work with you and see you again soon.